Excuse me, guys.
Chug, 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 chug.
What is up, everybody? And welcome back to yet again, and it's been a while, but another episode of Comfort and Chaos with me and, of course, my co-host, my main man, Will. Rocking, might I say, rocking that sexy Bayside t-shirt there, guys. Hey, comment down below if you know who Bayside is or what Bayside is. I don't know. Comment down below. And if there's any Saved by the Bell freaking references, no, go to another. Hey, I'm sorry.
Just not Bayside High, baby. Just the best fucking band on the planet.
I'm just going to give you that hint right now. Either way, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. You like this fancy flag? Link will be down below. You see it right behind us. Christmas is around the corner. And word on the street is there's also another link you're going to see in there for some new, what we got coming soon, some Comfort and Chaos merch, guys. Yes, you're going to see some limited edition products there. I recommend go in there, check some stuff out. We got some other stuff coming in, special limited edition stuff, but it's still going through the approval process, still going through the process of getting production. You know, we're making contracts, signing deals. People are talking, a lot of crosstalk. We want nothing but the best for you guys.
We're not bringing you shit. Like
exactly.
Flag, fucking amazing. You don't want this specific flag. You don't want that little comfort thing in there, right? You don't have to have that.
Yeah.
Get it customized. Fucking amazing. We're only going to bring you the finest of the goods. The finest of the goods.
Ooh, the finest.
Finest.
I like that. Either way, guys, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it and appreciate all the support and love you guys have showed us along the way as we continue to grow in this Comfort and Chaos process. Now, let's get on with the show. So, Will, it's been a while. You know, we had to take a little break.
That was after the 4-hour live stream during election night.
Yeah, 4-hour live stream, guys. It was a fun time though. I encourage you guys, if you haven't already, you can click the live tab. It's still, the video is still there, and you will find the video if you want to go back and see what we're talking about. A lot of chaos. You know, I think I was stumbling, almost fell down the stairs by the time we were done with that. But a lot of fun times, you know. But yeah, as you guys know, we got a new boss in town. All right,
incoming.
And we got a new boss incoming. And let me say, things are going to the chaos that I told you. Yeah, it's coming, you know. But I'm hearing the word meltdown just thrown all over the place. Hey, if you guys, let me know if you guys have been hearing it too as well. But it's all over social media, and I'm just curious, you know, and that's why I was looking forward, especially having Will on here. But the meltdown has commenced, Will.
It has.
What have you seen from your foxhole on this, man?
Yeah, I had to escape, man. Like, right after we completed that live stream, a couple days later, massive snowstorms hit up here in Colorado. Snowed like 4 days straight. I said, fuck it, and I took off to Las Vegas, Nevada. to get away from it all and go drown my not sorrows and enjoy some just decompression time. But while that was happening, apparently, you know, big shocker, right? Full mainstream media meltdown. And the blame game and the finger pointing. And just shock.
We called it. I mean, you called it, you know.
Yeah, we called it. I mean, we called it about 10 p.m., you know, my time.
And mind you, Will, I do remember, and if you guys don't believe me, you can go back and look at the video. But at the very beginning, Will was even concerned. He was like, well, it's not looking too good. Like, he straight up.
Yeah,
you know,
I saw some of the stats and you know, who, you know, where they thought the trend lines were going to go based off of exit polling and stuff like that. And completely wrong again. And throughout the night, you started to see it. Like, you were like, oh, like this this might be real bad for the Dems. This might be real bad. Like, oh, it's real bad. Bad. You saw it. I mean, what was it? What was it, like midnight? Eastern time, right?
Yeah.
Her, chairperson came out to their watch party and basically told everybody to go home. It was like, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't even go out there. Yeah. I mean, and from a leadership standpoint, I was like, that's not really a good look. You know, I mean, as a leader, you got to be.
It checks out.
It does. It does. But that, to me, that's a demonstration of their leadership characteristic and just what truly really mattered. Because even as a leader, and you and Will and I both know this, you got to be a leader both in the good times and the bad. The leadership job, like your leader role, doesn't stop. And to me, I was just kind of like, I wasn't too impressed with that call. Even if it was, I mean, you could have went out there and just said something like, "There's power in presence. Just be present." Hey, you know what, guy? I mean, you could have went out there and said, "Hey, we're waiting for final numbers. I appreciate you guys coming out here. I don't want to keep you out here too late. We'll reconvene in the morning, or I'll put out a statement in the morning." Just something like that. But I thank you for all the support and love you guys showed along the way. Godspeed and God bless America. Something like that. And then that's it. But no, none of that.
No, it was very reminiscent of when Hillary Clinton realized like she was going to lose. She basically did the exact same thing. And so it was very telling. And I think everybody just kind of knew at that point, like, oh, this is an uphill battle and we're not going to win it. Like, and it wound up being a complete fucking blowout. Like, I think beyond what anybody in the Trump campaign, all the Republicans could have imagined, an absolute slaughter, and really a statement to the politicians in this country, specifically the Democratic Party. Hey, like, the direction you were going and the way that you were attacking this problem, the multiple problems that are on the voters' minds, we are not okay with it. And that's one of the interesting, like, it's really interesting now to see the meltdown and right, instead of reflecting on, hey, that was kind of a referendum on our party and on our policies and on the way that we've been messaging. It hasn't really resonated with some of them.
It was, they could have chose a different approach, I would say. Didn't feel really in tune with the people. And I think that was the beneficial with the, Republican Party, because it just seemed like there was more like you knew who you were working with. There was a personality attached there, and you knew what you were getting. And I think that goes to say a lot. Hey, kudos to the Trump administration, because, I mean, respect, you got to give respect where it was warranted. And in his case, I mean, going on Joe Rogan and going on all these podcasts, like, he was taking advantage of a new media outlet that was obviously getting more ratings, more numbers and more viewership than the media networks,
Sure. He was also going out of his way to go into hostile territory.
Yes.
Right. Like,
that's another good point. Very good point.
He was JD Vance, right? Like, the entire campaign, like, movement, really, like, hey, we'll fucking go anywhere. We'll go to blue states. We will go on to known outlets that are going to just try to shred us. We will go in front of people who are going to ask tough questions that we don't have an advanced copy notice of, right?
Yeah.
We haven't been able to prepare the down to the minute detail statement that we want to be able to put out, like, because we don't know what they're going to ask. And they were going on those things and delivering policy messages.
Went into the lines.
Not always, right? Like, sometimes Orange Man decided to go way fuck off the rails, which happened on multiple occasions. But for the most part, right, when you compare the two campaigns, right, and what was happening, it was very clear. One was like, hey, well, you got a question? We'll answer it. Like, what do you got? Like, let's go. As opposed to, I grew up a middle-class kid, just on fucking repeat.
I grew up a middle-class kid. Yeah. And I mean, it's already put out there. I mean, she had the opportunity to go on Joe Rogan, and I probably would have helped her. If I honestly, I don't know why her staff kept her away from that, but
because she couldn't, right?
But
she couldn't
at least
get a fucking like coherent sentence out of her face.
But at least I think he would have brought out the person in her. You're like,
I don't know.
Regardless of how it worked out, maybe it wouldn't have worked out well, but
it
would have brought out the person. You know, at least you're going to know.
I think people would have even been more turned off, right?
I know, but at the end, it's like, dude, all right, hey, you guys admit that they made a bad call and then go from there, you know?
Yeah. And that's the interesting one, right? Like the finger pointing, the blaming, like I got a little video.
Oh, yeah.
Us.
Finger pointing time, team.
Let's take a look at this little guy. Like all that fallout.
Along with the millions of people who turned out in person in America to vote, many more tuned in to watch the outcome play out live on cable TV.
As Donald Trump's comeback became clearer,
it's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare.
Over on MSNBC, the blame was placed on one key demographic.
Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. And this will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy.
It appeared to be a day of mourning on The View.
I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad.
It's been very difficult, but boy, oh boy, do we have a country if we can keep it. People didn't come out, I don't know why, and it doesn't even matter. He's now the president. I'm still not going to say his name.
Former Republican Congressman Joe Scarborough turned Morning Joe host had this take.
Yeah, you give him a big old hug.
If she were a 6'4" white man from Arkansas and she ran a good middle of the road campaign talking about reaching out, do you think she would be losing by that much? If she could like chew tobacco and carry a shotgun and talk about football and
there was some free advice for Democrats on Fox News.
You have to put down the country because you don't like the results. Trump won. It's like blaming the refs after you lost 50-0.
Could it be you? It can't be 70 million racists.
Kamala Harris's stunning failure to build on Joe Biden's 2020 electoral success, a shock on CNN's Magic Wall.
You got to take ownership.
Are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020?
Holy smokes.
There you go.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
The conversation quickly shifted to the reasons Harris failed. Some blamed President Biden.
Biden should have dropped out a year ago or 2 years ago.
The timing, I think, of President Biden's decision to step down after the debate, something that if she does in fact lose, will be under a microscope.
One senior official I just talked to said Biden will hold a lot of blame for it. And frankly, they said he should.
The soul searching has only just begun.
What?
Trudy
you guys
McIntosh,
gonna get cookies
Sky
or something?
News.
Free cookie? What are you looking for? I don't get what they're looking for, Will. I'm just confused. You know, I've played a lot of sports in my life, and it's like, yeah, you can lose a game. And when you lose a game, yeah, you can point at everybody. Hey, you didn't pass the ball. Hey, you didn't do this. You didn't hit your shots.
Sure.
I mean, literally, you can play that game the whole time, but in the end, a loss is a loss, and you move on. You know, you learn from what you did. You go back to the drawing board. We practice more. We know what we got to fix.
But that's the thing is, I don't think that they're learning. And some are right. Like there was a couple of Democratic Congress people that came out and were like, "Hey, like we fucked this up. We right like."
And respect them. I have more respect for that.
Oh yeah. Instead of talking about like, you know, all these trans rights issues and women in men's or men and women's sports. Like I remember seeing one of them came out with an interview. He's like, I cannot, as a Democrat, I cannot say I don't want my daughters getting run over by a dude on a sporting event. Like he goes, I can't say that. And he goes, that's why we fucking lost. Right? Like,
yeah.
That was right when that's your vision of the country, a fully open border, right? Massive inflation, government spending, your kids are going to be taught, this transgendered ideology in elementary school. Like, hold on, time out. Like, that's going to turn off such a massive portion of the country and create such pushback to what you are saying, right? Like, there's a reason why they were upside down on every single fucking issue that was presented during this -1, which was abortion. And even then, right, when you rank them, right, in the minds of the voter, right, can I put food on my fucking table, tends to go a bit higher than that issue, right? And what you saw very interestingly, right, was pretty much every single state that put forward an abortion issue, right, to codify it inside of the state constitutions, including the one state that I'm currently in, right, in Colorado. They ratified it as part of the state constitution, guaranteeing it as a right? Passed overwhelmingly. Every single state, including the red ones.
Jeez.
By a fairly large margin. I think the only one it didn't pass was Florida, and it's because they needed 60% to ratify on a state constitution ballot issue. They got 57. So even in that state, right, they voted overwhelmingly for that issue while also voting against the person who, right, was trying to champion that issue, right, which tells you how shitty a candidate, right, she was overall. And instead of going, hey, like, we pushed a terrible candidate that we shouldn't have pushed. We didn't allow the people to make a decision on who should be the nominee.
It was the process.
It was forced on that side of the house. And then, right, instead of being able to come out and clearly articulate policy decisions, we couldn't do it, right? They just they had nothing. They had absolutely nothing, and they got skunked. And instead of going, hey, like, we made all those mistakes, you heard it and it's continuing on those media meltdowns. Well, it's because of racism. It's because of sexism. It's because of your shitty fucking policy. It really is. It really is.
Oh man, I think of that Tim Dillon video that we did when we did. We had it pulled up on an episode when he's just like, "Read the book," just read the book, or start your interviews off with telling them that, "Hey, I'm not really gonna be president.
I'm not really gonna be president." Yeah, it's super interesting, right?
But,
and Trump is built, right, like, is building, right? The Republican Party has shifted. There's been a shift.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Now the question is it this election really only? But it's been kind of steadily progressing as, right, the Democrat Party used to be the party of the people, right? The working class, the working man, the blue collar used to be.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And you've seen that massive shift. And Trump really built a coalition this time, right, of, more ethnically diverse, more gender diverse, more, right, like, massively, like, picked up.
You know what though, Will? It's funny because I think a lot of the shifters, and this maybe it's just social media that really pushed this out, but there's been a lot of people who are literally just more kind of like just your boots on ground citizens in all ethnicities, all racial backgrounds, literally just saying, hey, I don't like the guy, but I'll tell you what, my wallet was a little bit thicker when he was in office, and it's a lot thinner now. Like it was just immediate results like that. And that's usually that was like the common denominator. Like they didn't care about the trends. They didn't care about the border. All they were cared about was, hey, my wallet was a lot thicker.
I'll disagree with you on the border.
A lot cheaper.
I'll disagree with you on the border. I think that was a massive issue, especially in your.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying from the videos or the clips that I saw that were going around.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
And that was like the common denominator. And they were literally just saying, hey, I don't know the guy. I didn't like the guy. I didn't vote for him last time, but here's the result. My wallet was a lot thicker when he was in charge. And now shit is just through the roof. Money is getting pulled out of my paycheck more and more,
Yep.
And it was just a lot of that,
If they would have had an answer to some of that, right? Instead of going, well, look at the stock market. Average Joe doesn't invest in the fucking stock market, right? Like that's great that the stock market is on an all-time high. What are the real living wages comparison?
Talk to the one who has to go off of they're literally buying bread, milk, and eggs, on a weekly basis. Talk to those people.
Yep.
Like those are that should be your base. Start there and then work your way up, But you can't. So I mean, I understand. And there was just I didn't really feel that people like in tune with the people coming from that side this go around.
Yep. And I mean, it's over, right?
It's done.
It's done. Trump has, started to reach out and is building his cabinet, the first ever female chief of staff. He's selected. This was one of the interesting ones, and I know we talked about this, before the show. Tulsi Gabbard.
I like her.
I do too, man. Like I really do.
like her.
Let me put it this way. I really like her. I think she's a phenomenal politician. She has some very unique views. She's probably one of the more was a middle line Democrat. She is now a Republican. And if they would have run Tulsi Gabbard, I probably would have voted Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, I more than likely, actually, I would have voted for her, depending on who her VP candidate would have been too, though.
Sure.
But I would have definitely, she is one that she's like kind of like a female Trump. Like she's outspoken. Like who she is, who her personality is. And she's not going to take shit from nobody,
Yeah, but she's also extremely polished, right? Like she is not. She's Trumpian. I guess. That's an interesting way that you put it. I would say that she's Trumpian in the way that she'll put it out there. Like she'll let you know exactly what she's thinking.
I mean, when I saw her,
she does it in a much more significantly refined way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, when she put Kamala on blast in that debate,
she fucking destroyed her. Like that's the reason why Kamala got out before the fucking first primary was Tulsi wrecked her shit.
Exactly. So it's like, damn, that's the leader. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of picks coming in, and right, like. Let's get back to that media meltdown, right?
Ooh, let's see. Right? Now, she's getting picked based off what I read for DNI, right?
Yeah. So Tulsi got selected for ODNI.
That's a role right there. Well, that's an important role.
It is. It's a very interesting pick as well.
A lot of people don't know about that role.
Obviously, a senator or a congresswoman from Hawaii. I don't remember if she's in the Senate or the House. Do you remember?
I think also a senator.
I want to say, yeah. Either way, congresswoman from Hawaii, was a congresswoman, Democratic congresswoman from Hawaii. Really.
Congresswoman, yeah.
Yeah. And, really ran afoul of the Dem party. So I've got another little article, right?
Ooh, let's see
here, right?
Oh, wow.
Watch the framing of how the left, right? MSNBC.
Real quick, Will. Real quick.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
what you got?
Every individual you see right there.
Yeah.
Based off those facial expressions, every single one, what from left to right, what do you think is on their mind right now? Like, what do you think? Just based off that look right now. Let's hear it.
Far left, I have to shit. Because I've already watched this. Watch how many times this fucking dude, right, center left, fixes his hair. Like, just watch this fucking dirtbag.
I mean, you can tell he's got one little strand of hair hanging down the forehead there.
Watch
this
shit. This cracks me up. And
homegirl in the red, what's her deal? Damn.
She's creeped out by the dude on the right who is clearly into her and is trying to fucking get with it, and she is mortified. And that fucking nerd on the right is trying to score some points. He's failing miserably.
Yeah, she definitely looks like she just got a bad text before she got on the phone. The girl in the red.
Yeah, she was
just read something really bad. Like, oh,
it was the dude. It was the dick pic from the dude on the right.
Yeah, or somebody didn't let the cat out.
Oh, there you go.
Now it pooped on the house.
Yeah,
all right, let's see what you got.
Watch this one. Watch how many times this fucking douche fixes his face.
No, this was a name that we had sources that had been telling us that Tulsi Gabbard, the former Democratic Congresswoman turned Republican, would be tapped for the Director of National Intelligence role. And just here in the last moments, that's exactly what happened. Donald Trump announcing that Tulsi Gabbard will take the reins, if confirmed by the U.S. Senate, of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence.
Look good.
Tulsi Gabbard, of course, is somebody who rose to prominence back in 2017 when she took a secret trip to Syria to meet with President Bashar al-Assad. At the time, he was alleged to have ordered the killings of hundreds of thousands of Syrian civilians. It was a trip that was repudiated by Democrats and Republicans alike at the time that ultimately the U.S. was determining how it would engage and respond to the killings of civilians. And in the aftermath of that, she was hesitant to call him a dictator and was hesitant to condemn him for the actions that were taking place in Syria. Ultimately, she ran for president in 2019 as a Democrat. She was somebody that irked a great many other Democrats on that stage, taking on memorably then Senator Kamala Harris. Ultimately, in the aftermath of the 2020 election, she ended up going and making her presence on Fox News routine before becoming a close ally of Tucker Carlson.
Dude,
and somebody who then closely aligned herself with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. before just a couple weeks ago at a campaign rally that I was at in Michigan, going up on stage and declaring that she was now officially a member of the Republican Party because of Donald Trump and had sought to play a key role in his administration.
I bet
she
this guy's got some board shorts on.
An honorary chair on this transition team here. And now Donald Trump clearly trusting Tulsi Gabbard and placing her in this critical national intelligence position.
All right, so Courtney, her in that role, I mean, she's the air traffic controller, if you will.
Let's go, Courtney.
Of intelligence, which going to come from the Pentagon, it's going to come from the CIA, the FBI, also from the national security team within the White House. Tell me a little bit about what it means to have her in a role like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the huge question here is, what is this going to mean for career intelligence officers? How are they going to see someone who, as we just heard Vaughn say, met with Bashar al-Assad and said that he is not the enemy of the people? And at the time, there was a tremendous amount of outcry about the fact that she was defending someone who had slaughtered his own people. And
when's the last time, Courtney, you've been to Syria?
Campaign
Let me ask you that.
Yeah, right.
Like, Courtney, go to Syria real quick. Let go over there. Go buy a cup of coffee. See how that goes for you.
And the framing of it, right? Like, is kind of interesting, right? Like, really, Tulsi is not an interventionist, right? Like she believes in, and at the time, right? Like we had drawn these red lines and we're like, it was looking more and more like, here we fucking go again. We're going to get into another war in the Middle East. One of which, right? Like she had deployed multiple times.
That's actually how she got that white strand of hair. People don't know that story. Yeah.
No, I don't know that one.
She was in a crazy, stressful environment during the war in Iraq, and they got hit pretty hard, and she got put in a very combat action situation, and it stressed her out so much that all of a sudden she like formed this white strand, this white grouping of hair, and it caused that, and it stayed there since.
Yeah. I mean, this is a former. She might even still be current, or at least was at the time, like a reservist.
She is a reservist, and she did actually just take a command position. She's a battalion commander now.
Yeah.
For a reserve unit, I think in Iowa or somewhere. I just know, but obviously that's going to be changed because her commander in chief is going to move her, so give her new orders.
Yeah, she got a new role. Doesn't have an intel background, right? But obviously, through
she was a medical. She was a medcom.
Very interesting pick. But the way that they're framing it, right? And it's the same. It's some of the same interesting things I've seen on the way that they frame, Trump talking to Putin and Kim Jong-un. And right. So the typical US policy is, especially when you start talking about like Kim Jong or right, like the North Korea, Putin, right? Like you don't engage. Right. You have this almost right. Like, I don't want to legitimize you and president to president, right? Especially if you're talking to the president of the fucking US, right? It legitimizes the leader, right? Like that's the theory behind it. How is that fucking worked out for us? How is that type of policy played out? Let me think of any one of no, it fucking hasn't. Right, like the fact that we have no legitimate dialogue with a number of these right, like dictatorships, these countries that we want to we would love to see, hey, like alter the course of the way that they're committing fucking human rights abuses and treating their people like shit, and right, like we would love to see a difference there, right? The way that American foreign policy has worked over the last, I don't know, 40, 50 years, it hasn't worked tremendously well in those situations. So I don't necessarily put a ton of stock into, hey, you can't have an open dialogue. I think that might be the wrong move because it hasn't panned out in the overwhelming majority of these situations. It really just at all. So I kind of, hey, like, she flew over and saw and met with Bashir al-Assad. Cool. Right. Like what came out of that? Nothing.
Now, when she went, what justification for going? Like, what was her role? What was her responsibility?
I think she was right. Like, if I remember correctly, right. This was right during the Obama administration.
Like obviously some part of some committee.
No.
Oh,
no,
really?
No. Oh, fuck no. She just took off. It was like, fuck this. Like, right. Cause there was talk of Assad violating red lines and right.
I mean, wasn't he like chlorine bombing his home people?
Oh yeah, for sure. Right. And it followed sectarian violence, right? But you look at, I think from her perspective, and every country the U.S. kind of fucked around with, causing the spring and causing mass chaos across. the Middle East, North Africa. I think her perspective probably was like, hey, like I want ground truth, and I'm going to go see for myself. And also, hey, probably like, hey, it isn't as bad as the media is presenting it to be. It wound up being pretty fucking bad. So maybe she didn't get it 100% right. But interesting pick. I just find it funny the way that they are trying to frame her as like.
So, how about we'll go into like what are going to be if she is nominated or if she is accepted?
She's nominated. Yeah, she just got to get accepted.
Yeah. What are her roles and responsibilities as a DNI?
Right. Really, it's help drive intelligence policy and collection and across and collaboration across the entire intelligence enterprise. Right. So the Office of DNI, the ODNI, right, was created post 9/11 to help kill some of the silos that existed between CIA, FBI, DOD. Right, all these intelligence gathering apparatuses that had their own little stovepipe of information, and like, hey, we don't tell the others unless they really need to know. Well, there was nobody going, hey, like the CIA had information about, I don't know, 9/11 hijackers, right? Didn't pass it to the FBI. FBI had some pieces of information, didn't pass it, right? Like nobody was talking to each other, right? So that office was really created to help level the bubble and drive intelligence sharing and policy across the intelligence enterprise for the U.S. So it's a very important role. It's a pretty prestigious role. And
but just for some of our listeners out there who obviously don't know, like obviously a lot of people don't know, well, what's the DNI? Oh my gosh, it sounds. Now, in that role, in her role, does that mean that she would be, making operational decisions as far as, we're talking, situation room decisions, or control operations?
No, right. Think of it as like, hey,
like a liaison to the commander, basically.
I
that's
think
what I've always
that.
perceived that as.
I think it's kind of above that, right? So, hey, our foreign policy is we need information on X, Y, and Z. Hey, director CIA. Hey, director FBI. Here's our top line initiatives and what we need to be going after. And as those things kind of start to bubble up, right? Maybe some refereeing. So not necessarily operational role, but more policy and oversight.
Yeah, I just want to make sure some of our viewers probably get a little understanding, because a lot of people probably don't know who the DNI is and what her roles are, because I'm pretty sure the media can spin it different ways. We don't know, but based off their behavioral trend that they've already demonstrated, they probably are. And a lot of times they don't even know, we're not going to know. I'll tell you right now, team, just to get into the building where she is going to work at, good luck. There's not, you can't even take your cell phone in there. Let's just put it that way, but yeah, so they're definitely, that's going to be a definitely prestigious position, and we'll see how she handles that. I mean, that's my only concern is, like you had mentioned, I don't know what her intelligence experience is. And to be up there in a role where you're basically, facilitating and facilitating communication and transparency with, we're talking 18, I think it's 18 now, 18 communities, that are conducting, activities in that nature. It's like, you got to have some kind of like, understanding, and it helps to have that experience.
Yeah. I mean,
would say,
yeah. And I would make some assumptions that she's got some pretty decent experience inside of the halls of Congress, right? Like
exactly,
has received intelligence briefings, has been in the skiff, has been in right. Right. This is not somebody who is and also understands it from a military operational perspective. Might not have that super background in intel, but understands what she's doing. So it gives me some confidence there, and I hope she absolutely knocks it out of the park. And I
hope so too. I hope so too.
I really think she has the potential to continue to progress. And if she ran, I don't care what party she's running for. I think she's got the potential to be one of the first female presidents of the U.S. She has that pedigree, that background.
She does,
and just the ability to communicate. I think she's phenomenal, and
she would
so
have
it's definitely going to be interesting.
She would have my vote. So, I've also saw some news going on with the whole FEMA thing.
Oh my God, dude! This is absolutely
fill me in, Will, because this
amazing.
This is some crazy stuff.
Yeah, this is absolutely disgusting. So, you know what? Let's watch the video first. It'll kind of give us the rundown, and then we can discuss it because it's really wild.
See this.
Another issue that highlighted the incompetency of Joe Biden was hurricane relief and FEMA's reaction, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of Trump appointees,
yeah, that guy looks familiar.
Right, the far right, that's Pete Hegseth. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
I think it's Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, nominated for SecDef. Secretary of Defense. And again, right, like you talk about the meltdown and he's a Fox News contributor. How can he be fucking listen to SecDef? What the fuck? Like people losing their shit, right?
Of course.
But this isn't exactly
your average news anchor.
The average news anchor, right? So military background, Harvard grad. He's was a top tier guy at two conservative veteran groups advocating for better healthcare and access to the veteran community. He did run for Senate in Minnesota in 2012. He is an author. Now he hasn't served in major defense positions, so I'll give him that, right? Like he did do some policy stuff at the Pentagon, if I remember correctly. So he's got a little bit of a defense background, but nothing similar to the multi-star GOs that are typically tagged as SecDef. So that is kind of interesting, but right, like the dude is definitely more than just a Fox News contributor.
Yeah, he was a decorated combat veteran. I think 2 Bronze Stars.
2 Bronze Stars.
2 Bronze Stars.
He's no
team.
fucking
If you
John.
don't know, you
he's
don't
no John Melson, but
he's no John Melson, guys. He's no Mad Dog. But let me tell you, Bronze Stars. That's a big deal in the military community. Let's just put it that way. And 101st served at 101st Airborne Division. Is a major. Is he still in? Is he in the National Guard or something?
I think he might be a guard dude now.
Okay.
I mean, not anymore, right? But
obviously,
yeah, really, right? Like obviously a staunch defender of Trump. So unfortunately, like that kind of he rewards loyalty, not necessarily the best human for the position. So it'll be this one will be interesting to see.
It really will.
But definitely not. He's definitely not. What they're making him out to be as just like, oh, this dude was just on Fox News and now he's the SecDef. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, no, this dude, military background, military officer. has seen combat, has seen, policy decisions again at the Pentagon. He's been around a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's great because, we got somebody obviously, who is definitely more in tune, younger, energetic, can probably walk around and walk the walk and talk the talk when he's making his rounds. I feel like we've lately been a trend. This is just my own personal opinion, but I feel like we've been on this trend where we just get some really crusty old dudes up there who are just like, yeah, I get it, man. You did your time, all that stuff. But, it feels good to also have that somebody who could be more in tune, that lead from the front mentality, hey, who can still speak the lingo. This guy is probably going to be walking around when he's making his circulation and probably giving his speeches at all these Army bases. He's probably going to there's going to be brigade commanders who are like, dude, hey, I remember we went to freaking, this school together, look at you now, he's
sure
going to be that guy,
Yeah. I see the flip side discussion to this one as well, right? Right. You're talking about, running a, million person organization with an 800 plus, gazillion dollar budget. Right. This dude has not done those things. Right. There's kind of a reason, right?
He may even be like, holy shit, what am I getting into?
Yeah, right. Maybe. The only time we'll tell with that one. But here he was still on Fox News discussing this FEMA piece. So I'll rewind it a little bit. We'll hit it this one.
Issue that highlighted the incompetency of Joe Biden was hurricane relief and FEMA's reaction, right?
Yeah.
And Joe Biden was in charge, but Kamala Harris was running, and there was there was an avoidance of wanting to talk about how significant the impact is on so many communities based on two hurricanes. Now, according to the Daily Wire, this is a staggering story. FEMA officials, which should be helping everybody, directed hurricane relief workers in Florida to avoid certain homes that had Trump signs in their lawn. Okay, here's the report according to the Daily Wire. A FEMA supervisor told workers in a message to avoid homes advertising Trump as they canvassed Lake Placid, Florida, to identify residents who could qualify for federal aid.
Lake Placid.
Internal messages viewed by the Daily Wire reveal. The supervisor, Marnie Washington, relayed this message both verbally and in group chat used by the relief team. Multiple government employees told the Daily Wire. So now
why people in the government utilize group chats? You're crazy. You're crazy.
Not only did they find the group chats, right? They could actually track down to, the homes that they went to and apply these people, right? These are people that needed federal aid.
Yeah.
Right. Post hurricane.
Yeah.
And you could track them down to, they'd hit a Dem registered house. They'd skip a Republican house. So hit a Dem house, right? And they would mark it down as could not access. And then they put something told by supervisor to avoid, right? That's how they would mark it down. So they were actually tracking these things.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So, that dude is a Trump supporter. Well, we'll just skip his house. And
that is so
go
wrong.
up and see if that dude needs federal aid at post hurricane that just wrecked their fucking community.
That is an example of just how divided.
Yeah.
How high the division is.
Yeah.
To the point where you're not even going to help somebody, because of who they vote for.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
And so it's interesting. So FEMA came out and fired her immediately. And has said, hey, this is isolated incident. This is a single employee that went rogue. That's not our policy. That's not how we operate.
They better do something because they're like, wow, we're about to have a new boss. This is not going to look good.
She came out
Ooh,
right?
here we
It was
go.
like, yeah, here's the tea.
Here we
right?
go.
So
Let's
she
go.
has come out. She came out on a podcast. I think might have been this morning, yesterday.
Please,
was
Joe
like,
Rogan. Joe
or,
Rogan.
no, unfortunately,
Get
not
her.
Joe Rogan. She was like, no, this is policy at FEMA. Like, this is unwritten rule at FEMA, and everybody knows it. This is how we operate. They're lying to you when they say, she straight up said this. They are lying. Like the FEMA is lying. The senior leadership at FEMA is lying if they tell you that they didn't know about this.
Oh,
and
hey, get
so
those receipts.
They hucked
Pull
her
out the
under the bus.
receipts.
Yep, they hucked her under the bus, and she's right back there hucking them under the bus. So I believe tomorrow, it's sometime this week. It's either tomorrow or the next day. We're filming this. What's today? Wednesday. So Thursday or Friday of this week, right? They are FEMA heads are set to testify. And now there's multiple House investigations getting opened up against FEMA for trying to pull this shit. I mean, this is just absolutely disgusting.
What were you thinking, FEMA? Like, come on, guys. What are you
You're
thinking,
literally
dude?
not helping, right? Your charter, your thing that you're supposed to do, right, is during federal declared emergency is
purpose.
To help fucking Americans navigate the system.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the military like, oh yeah, hey, who'd you vote for? Yeah, we're not going to save you. We're going to go over here and save these people. Like,
it's so wild, dude. It's
holy crap, man.
It's so wild, man.
Like, get them out. Let's get some new people in there who can do the job.
Yeah. Well, Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Tasked up to lead the government efficiency division of this new White House. I cannot fucking wait.
That's going to be interesting.
Everybody. What is it you say you do here, Bob?
Very interesting.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm kind of excited to see how that's going to pan out. So that's going to be interesting. Hell yeah.
And they
said see a lot of Joe Rogan appearances.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting part is, they're not actually going to be government officials or cabinet officials. It's weird how they're creating this thing. It's going to be kind of interesting to watch how that comes up, and if can they get any movement and headway to get rid of some of these shitbags that need to fucking go. That just need to go.
Just the waste of money. All the funding and all the money that's just constantly being wasted,
Yeah. Government accountability. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, dude. Good luck. We'll see how this pans out.
I wish you the best. That's not going to be a fun job.
Maybe they're going to send you a job too, dude. Well, I could see you getting one of those jobs too,
Yeah.
Get you in there.
Pass. Hard pass.
Why not? You saying you wouldn't take the D&I position?
Fuck no. You out of your goddamn you out of your mind?
Hey, what about if they just put you in the Parks and Recs division?
Parks and Rec. Slash it.
I'll be in charge of the Parks and Recs division.
Oh man.
Put me in charge.
All of you are fired.
Oh man. Well, it's pretty interesting, Will, and it's good to be back. Obviously a lot of craziness. Hey, we got a new SecDef coming out, nominee. We got a D&I nominee. The meltdown has commenced. I mean, how long do you think this meltdown is going to go, man, before they start kind of like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board on this?
4 more years. I
mean, at some point,
they got interesting to see if they can self-reflect enough to go, we really fucked this up, right? Like, are they going to continue?
I hope so.
Pander to the farthest left excesses of their party. If the Dems continue to do that, right, and these type of, just ridiculous attacks on everyday Americans, right? Who are like, hey man, like I'm hurting, right? I don't think that this is the right way that the country is moving. Like, and if you just start labeling people as racist, misogynists, right? Like sexist, fuck it, like, right? Like when you do that, you alienate so many people, and people are starting to wake up, right?
No, they really are, and
they're going, hey, like,
shown.
When you bash, right, like you want to defund the police and then crime increases. When you, right, you want to hand out all these government subsidies and it blows inflation. Like, hold on a second. Like, wait a second. Let's take a look at this. And people are starting to wake up a little bit. And I think that's a good thing. It's going to force, right, realistic discussions and not the farthest extremes. Both parties have ridiculous excess extremes, right? I think we can both agree there. But it's right when you pander all the way to one side, right? There's not there. You don't have that wiggle room, right? Like you're not in touch with the everyday American. And so if they keep doing that, right, like they're going to keep losing. It's also going to be interesting, right? Trump has said a lot of shit, some of it pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Right. So where does Trump, the business dude, right? Where is his middle ground? Because he always comes in super far, you know, to whatever extreme, right? Like I'm gonna fucking deport everyone. I don't think that's where he's really coming in at. I really don't. I think that he says that in order to get to like, hey, we're gonna deport. Oh, you've come into this country and committed crimes, like legitimate crimes. You come into the country illegally, then you've committed legitimate crimes, and you're still fucking here. Why are you still fucking here? Bye, Felicia. Gone. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're why the fuck were we letting in, you know, Chinese middle-aged military males through the southern border? Like, bye, Felicia. You gone.
Yeah, there's
right.
I think that's where. I mean, we didn't really touch base on that, but he did, you know, appoint a border czar.
Yeah,
you know, who is a former ICE director.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the guy's got years and years and years of experience when it comes to immigration policies and regulation. You know, and just. And then, of course, also patriotism. You know, the dude loves his country, and you know, so it is very like, hey, I think the intent is. I mean, Trump he said it too, and on Joe Rogan. You know, hey, if you are coming here to break laws and disrespect this country and not respect America, like you're gone. Like that's just Felicia. It.
Yeah.
You know, you're gone, because he's all about affording the opportunity, but you're going to learn the American way of life because that's why you're here, you know?
Well, I think, right. There's a path, right? The immigration system is broken, full stop. Right. We both know that
whole asylum and all that.
You gotta be able to do multiple things at once. It's not just the asylum piece, right? But even before, you know, the immigration courts, the way we grant
all of it, the whole process,
visas, green card, right? Like everything is broken, right? So, but you gotta stop the bleeding and then fix the system. I think he can probably get close to one. The question is, right, does he fix the system? And then, right, does it go to an extreme, right? If he gets, and this is everything, right? This is everything that Trump has kind of promised, right? Right. If he overdoes the tariffs and it winds up hurting the American, you know, the Gen Pop American wallet, right? It's possible. If he can execute, right now we're in like, can the Republicans execute? If the Republicans execute well, right, and the Dems keep losing their shit, like it's gonna be a fucking bloodbath, and the bloodbath's gonna continue. If they cannot execute and it becomes a shit show, right? This is where like the pendulum just starts fucking swinging back and forth as far as it can.
I think strongly that's what's going to be the next play, is try to exploit failure, try to do everything
1,000%.
that they could have done easily. I mean, literally every day during the last administration, they could have had multiple episodes a day, but all the silence that you heard for the past 4 years, that silence is not going to, you're going to hear the exact opposite for the next 4 years. You're going to hear every policy, every decision, every action is going to be a story. You're going to hear it all, and it's going to be all worst case scenario, fear, and all like, this is what you guys get. This is what you asked for.
But they've been doing that. They've been doing that, right, for the last how long, right? And this is where it gets back to, can the man deliver? If the man delivers,
no, I agree.
Right,
production. What's the production?
If the man
like?
delivers, right, like they can jump up and down, right, like, and it's just gonna make right. It showed this time where people went, I don't fucking believe you.
I don't believe you.
I have eyes. You understand? I have fucking eyes.
What was
right?
delivered exactly? They're gonna go off the production. Hey,
right? Yeah. If he produces, right, and people are feeling better about their day-to-day life, like, the Republican Party is fine. If he does not produce, they're in a world of shit. It is going to be bad.
I think we just all are at that point, because it's not good with either one. It's like,
yeah, right, yeah. It's just, how
where do
far
we
does
go
the
from
pendulum
here?
swing, and do the Dems recognize, like, hey, like, I can't run to the far left extreme of my party. I have to dial this back. That's going to be the interesting part to watch.
It's going to be interesting, Will. It's going to be interesting. And on that note, I think we can go ahead and end it. We discussed a lot today. And I feel a sneeze coming on. Oh, okay. Anyways. Hey, guys, we discussed a lot, as you already know, here at Comfort and Chaos. Hey, it's not going to be easy. Okay? It's not going to be easy. There's going to be some waves of chaos coming. We already called it. But it's nothing you guys can't get through. All right? I had a conversation just the other day. Somebody who voted for the opposite person I voted for, and they're feeling a type of way, and then, but you know what? They just said, hey, you know what? I realized I went to bed that night feeling sad and depressed, but then I woke up in the morning, I realized, wow, I just woke up a new morning. I'm alive. Nothing's changed, and life's going to go on, and just like Will and I had said before, like, life's going to go on. You're going to be fine. Regardless, you're going to be fine, guys, So that note, guys, continue to find comfort in your chaos. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we look forward to more content coming your way. There's a lot more to discuss. There's probably so much more me and Will could have dived into tonight, but we're going to save that for some upcoming episodes. So I appreciate that. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below, guys. Comment your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on these nominees. Let us know your thoughts on the whole FEMA thing. Hey, was that justified? Was it not? I mean, where do you stand on that? I'm curious, who's to blame? What do you guys know that me and Will don't know? Comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And if you like Bayside, comment down below too. Hey, who's Bayside? Who's Bayside to you? All right. No Saved by the Bell reference.
Don't know. Go find out.
Will, do you have any last thoughts?
I've had this on my mind a lot lately. I just want to know if mashed potatoes is just really Irish guacamole.
That's a good one. Holy crap. Irish guac.
Yeah.
Well, comment down below, guys. Let us know. Mashed potatoes, Irish guacamole. All right. Until then, guys, we'll see you on the next episode.